One of the major stories in Parshas Chayei is the story of Eliezer, Eved Avraham, being sent to find a wife for Yitzchak. So right at the beginning of the story, the Torah tells us in Rishos Chaf Daled Beis, Avraham says to his Eved, Simna yadcha tachas yirechi, place your hand under my thigh and swear to me that you're going to take a proper wife for my son. So why is he put his hand under his thigh? Rashi brings from the Gemara, because when you swear, you should take a davar shel mitzvah, like where they used to have people swear in Bezdin, they would take a Sefer Torah or Tefillin. So the Brit Milah was the first mitzvah that Avraham Aveinu was his mitzvah Rishona, and it came to him through Tsar, and therefore it was very precious to him, and that's why he wanted Yitzchak. That's why he wanted Eliezer to take that, to swear on. So Chayei explains that the Rashi is addressing why did he pick the Brit Milah as opposed to another davar shel mitzvah like Tefillin, and the answer is because the Milah had a special chavivus and preciousness to him because it was his first mitzvah and because it came to him through challenge and through pain. This is also why I think that one of the Sfarim Parshim say that he chose his Milah as opposed to the Milah of Eliezer, is because, again, of this special connection he had to this mitzvah. That there's a special relationship that we have with something when it's our first one, when it's our first mitzvah. That this is something we should tap into and something we should, this is something we should tap into, this is something we should try to guess, that first Talmud, that first Sefer, that first Chiddush. It's something which comes from our Tzem Elokim. It's a proper Hagash. It's something we should try to tap into and use for the good. And I think it's a concept which is applicable to other areas of life, just tapping into that first thing that we want to start things off on the right foot. Whether it's a marriage, whether it's building yeshiva, whether it's how we start our day. I think that's the Vilna Gaon who says that the thing that you think about first thing in the morning is going to be something which is going to be setting a tone for an entire day. And that's why we start with Modani. You try to start and make sure you think about good things in the morning. This is idea of tapping into that first thing. We want to recognize this idea of that chavivus we're going to have for the first one and treat it properly. One idea contained here in the idea of Avraham Aveinu having Eliezer swear on his first mitzvah. It's a different idea here I saw in a different direction from Elya Baruch Finkel Zatzal. He quotes this from Maran Rav Chaim's Chusay Yogin Aleinu. I'm not sure if that's Rav Chaim Shmulevitz or somebody else, but he says, what's the reason why he has him swear here as opposed to other things? So he brings from the Sefer Be'er Mayim Chaim, he says that Avraham Aveinu was very careful about his ruchnius and his kiyum mitzvos. He gives a story of somebody comes to a city and he sees somebody who's the shochet. He hears this guy's the shochet. So he says, all right, he looks from, he looks good, he has a hechsha, I can rely on him. Then this same guy comes to him and he says, can I borrow $5,000? He says, listen, I don't know you, I just got you, how could I trust you with my money? So what do we see in such a story? We would see that it's easier for him to rely on somebody in ruchnius, and then in Gashmias, he's not so quick to rely on him. It says there was a story of Yisrael Salanta that he came to a inn, and the innkeeper asked him to be the shochet. He says, you look like a Talmid Chacham, Yarei Shemayim, save me the trouble of dealing with shchita, just have you do it. He says, I'm not a shochet. Then he comes to him, and Rav Yisrael comes to him the next morning. He says, can I borrow 50 rubles? He says, listen, we don't have a relationship. How can I lend you 50 rubles? So he laughs, he says, because of this long beard of mine, you're ready to trust me with something which is nogeh many lavin. When it comes to a few rubles, that you won't trust me on. So it showed a sense of priority. That's the idea of that story, is showing a sense of which one do I care about more? Which one is really more important to me? Avraham Aveinu is doing the exact opposite here. To trust, it says in the pasuk, he's Moshel B'chosho. He rules over everything of his. He says to trust Eliezer with all my money, then I'm prepared to do. But to trust him on the shidduch, to trust him on the ruchnius for my son, for that I need a shvuah. That it has to be that Avraham Aveinu is making a point. One of the ideas of why he's making him swear here is a point of making a big deal of the fact that this is what it's all. This is what he really cares about. This is what he really worries about. This needs so much more of a reason to have a shvuah on it than the other matter. Just two interesting pshatim in this idea area of Yitzchak, of Avraham Aveinu making Eliezer swear. Hope it's some good food for thought. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbos.